The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Originally constructed in 1996, Las Vegas Motor Speedway held its first major event in September of that year, an IRL race won by Richie Hearn. The first NASCAR event, a NASCAR Truck Series race, followed 2 months later. Following 2 months later, the NASCAR Xfinity Series paid a visit in 1997 before the NASCAR Cup Series arrived in 1998, marking the beginning of the track's long-term success. Changes to the oval in 2006 made it a more competitive venue for stock cars. This major renovation revamped the banking, upping it from a modest 12 degrees to 20. Not only that, but the corners were banked progressively, meaning the further up the racing surface, the steeper the banking got. Lap times got quicker, racing got more competitive. Current stock car track record held by Kurt Busch at just over 196 miles an hour. Coming up tonight, it's the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series, and it's coming up next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series. Temperature here, kind of chilly actually, 63 degrees, nice and dry, 19% humidity. Track temperature, also a cool 67 degrees. That means speed, that means grip. 120 laps around the speedway tonight. Stages will come at lap 25 and lap 50. Practice just about wrapped up here at the speedway. Corey Gray fastest, Decker, Slapinski, Davis, and Clark, your top five, all separated by just over half a tenth. It's going to make qualifying awfully interesting as we get into it here in just about 30 seconds. And just like that, Craig White goes top of the board in the 3. Qualifying is a 5-minute session, 2 laps for each driver. set the field for tonight's race. Looks like John Schuneman first to hit the track. Number 49 Ford Mustang. Pretty good solid field here tonight. 20-plus drivers. Ooh, a little off throttle off turn number 2 there down the Nellis Straight. First lap for Schuneman, 30.293 seconds. That's P1 for now. First car to take an official time. Not for long, though. Slapinski tops it at 29.97 for the number 78 of Gary Slapinski. Let's see if he can pick up on his second lap of the day. Oh, driving it off turn number 2, almost into the safer barrier. Luckily, the safer barrier comes to an end off corner exit. Otherwise, he absolutely would have made contact. Slapinski drops it to the flat, crosses the stripe. Lap 2 at 29.77. Improves on that top time. So did Schuneman, 29.94. Wasn't enough to get him up into P1, but still outside front row. Frank Gramuglia finishes up his lap at 29.894. Craig White, fastest in practice, doing it in the last 30 seconds of this session. Let's see what he can clock in here in qualifying. First lap for Craig White, 30.426. Almost had it. Second quick for Craig White, 29.784 seconds. Corey Gray wraps up his first lap at 30.044. One of the quicker first laps we've seen today. See if Corey can pick up the pace. He was right near the top of the charts in practice as well. There he is, crosses the line here. Official scoring says third fast, 29.817 for Corey Gray. Noel Coors in the number 15 machine. Still no door number on it. Got to get that squared away, but nothing on our end here. We've got the graphic settings correctly, but Coors throws down a quick lap. You don't need door numbers to make it fast. Third fast for Noel. It's a 29.813. And with under a minute remaining in the session, I'm going to bet that's all we're going to see here. Mike Martin, Bradley Cockrell, Tom Stevens, Earl Latterell, Alan McEwen, Don Davis, all assuming so, that they're opting not to take a time in qualifying. Start from the rear. Some fast guys back there. We'll see how long it takes them to work their way up through the field. Officially just 20 seconds remain in the session. At this point, anybody leaving pit road will not have enough time to complete a timed lap. So this will likely be the results as they stand. Gary Slapinski, Craig White, Noel Coors, the top three. Then Corey Gray and Mike Rominger. That is your top five. We'll get down to our starting grid here in just a moment. In fact, let's do that right now. On the pole position, the number 78 machine of Gary Slipinski to his outside. The 3 of Craig White missed it by just 8/1000ths of a second. Noel Coors starting in the second row, P3. The number 15, Corey Gray to his outside, the number 29. Row number 3, Mike Rominger and Paul Witt. Row number 4, it's Norman Clark and Jared McCauley, 7th and 8th. Frank Gramuglia, the 9th starter, and John Schuneman starting 10th. Michael Howlett, the number 33 machine, he'll roll off from the 11th position. Joe Green will start in the 12th spot. 13th goes to James Randall, the 3rd. Frank Perfin, the number 67, he'll start from the 14th position. 15th goes to Harold Decker in the 9. David Cameron, the 40 machine, he'll start from the 16th spot. 17th goes to Earl Latterell, the number 12. Don Davis, the 984 machine, he'll start in the 18th spot. 19th goes to Mike Martin, the double 7 out of Canada. Alan McEwen, the 45, will start in the 20th spot. Bradley Cockrell, the 986, start in the 21st position. Tom Stevens in the 30, rolls off shotgun on the field in the 22nd position. Your starting grid, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series race number 5 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Gonna have one lap of caution, and then we're gonna take the green flag field rolling right now on the front stretch, getting formed up and ready to go racing here out in the desert. Want to get everybody up to speed. I know at Pocono a couple weeks ago we had Pit Stop TV, Andrew Cardinelli the 4th, jump in and fill in for us here at HBR TV. Going to come back and have another round of Pit Stop TV. It'll be, I believe, next week the 7th at Chicagoland Speedway. So a round number 2 for Pit Stop TV, Andrew and the boys. I think I'll have Andrew and Brian Rose up in the broadcast booth. Brian, a HBR member, HBR TV fill-in as needed. Should be a good event. Certainly looking forward to it. I will be out of town once again, unfortunately. But again, we got a good substitute. These guys, I'll be honest, I think they put on a better production. I try to model what I do after those guys, and I fail miserably at it. I got to admit it. But can't leave you guys hanging, and we're going to keep everything covered here. But we're going to get this race in before we even worry about it. Pace car peels off. Las Vegas Motor Speedway green flag going to be in the air just a moment. Green flag waves. Gary Slipinski in the throttle. Craig White to his outside. A good jump for the 78. Lap 1 in the books. Gary Slipinski with the lead still. Stretching it out just a little bit over Noel Coors. It's only about a quarter second back to the green, white, and black number 15. Corey Gray in the 3rd spot. The number 29 Mobile 1 colors. Craig White slips back to the 4th spot. Down a couple since the start of the race. Again, maybe strategy, just trying to get into a rhythm. A lot of these guys can just hammer down right from the start and just go after it. Other guys need to kind of get back, settle into a rhythm. It's usually the best way to take care of the car and keep the tires underneath you. I know these tires don't have as much fall off as some might like. Oh man, Craig White just rim riding off turn number 2. If he didn't get the wall, he might have peeled some of that wrap off of that race car awfully close to the outside. Craig White now slips back to the 5th position. Can't imagine he's got a problem with the car. Again, fixed setups here in the Old Fart Sim Racing League. Up front, Gary Slipinski still with the lead, getting some pressure from the 29 of Corey Gray. Corey taking a peek to the outside. We thought Noel Kors was going to start looking to the bottom as well, but nope, not the case now. He's got company. In fact, he's going to lose a spot to Mike Rominger. Rominger up to P3. Slipinski still with the top spot. Corey Gray in P2, but trying to put the pressure on. He sees Rominger coming. He wants to go. Unbelievable how close these guys are getting to that outside wall off of turn number 2. Here he goes. Corey Gray looking for the lead into turn number 3. 5 laps in. Going to take the spot handily off turn 4. New leader as we cross the stripe. Lap 6 goes on the board, and it's Corey Gray out in front. Lipinski making a move back to the bottom, going to try and retake the lead. Kind of use the same move that Corey Gray did, but it doesn't quite pull it off as well as the 29 did. They crossed the line. Gray still with the top spot. Lipinski down to the bottom and nose out in front into turn number 1. Still side-by-side action here at the front of the field. Corey Gray, Gary Lipinski. Rominger sitting there just watching it all unfold, wondering how he can take advantage of this. Rominger to the inside of Corey Gray. Lipinski back to the point. Top 5 under a blanket off turn number 4. Big wiggle from Corey Gray off at turn 4. Keeps it straight, keeps his foot down. Rominger still third. Noel Kors starting to battle back. He wants to put some pressure on Rominger as well. And then we got the 429 of Paul Witt coming into the frame as well. He's going to look to the outside. Got Batman on the hood, Flash on the left. Believe it's a new paint scheme compared to last week. Oh, another big wiggle. These guys have got their hands full off turn 4 especially. 10 laps down, 111 to go. Early on, right after qualifying, we talked about a handful of drivers that opted not to take a time in the qualifying session. One of those was Earl Lateral. Started, I think, the 17th position. He's already up to P10 here, only 11 laps in. Making some moves. We kind of expected to see that from some of those guys near the tail of the field. Talked about rhythm, trying to get settled into just that. Get the car underneath you, kind of hit your marks. Don't miss any of those marks every single lap and just gain some speed, and he's doing it lap by lap, working his way closer and closer to the front. Next on the list, Frank Gramuglia. It's about a 1.8 second deficit right now. And Earl's got Michael Howlett to the back door also. Got Valley Odinson in the stream chat. Is everyone at Las Vegas this week? Trucks at Lone Star at Las Vegas a week from Thursday. Yeah, I think they're at Kansas tomorrow. I got to double check that, but yeah, then Vegas the week after. It's a good track. I don't know what you want. Cody Witt cheering on Paul Witt, the 429 machine. Paul Witt running in the 3rd spot. Noel Kors and Mike Rominger doing battle here. Lap 14. This would be for the 5th position. 4th position, depending on how you look at it. Kors takes the P4 from Rominger, at least for the time being. Paul Witt, though, again up ahead of the 15. Big wiggle off turn 2. Remember, we do have stage breaks in this series, lap 25 and 50 for the most part. There may be some exceptions throughout the season, but I believe that is the stages for tonight. Meanwhile, Gary Slapinski still out in front. Paul Witt now up into the second spot. Noel Kors, that car is starting to come back to life. He's battling, try and take that position back away from Witt. Not able to do it this time by. Kors with a run off turn 2. Don't know if he's going to have enough to do it in 3. Definitely gained some ground. It's less than a car length. Backs up his entry into turn 3. Might try it again here on exit. Closes back down a little bit. It's a car length between the top 2. A car length and a half back to P3. That's not really Rominger. That is Rominger. That's not P3 though. Kors has P3. Thought this was the battle for the top spot for a moment. Was Lipinski stretching out his advantage to 2.7 seconds. He's in his own zip code, at least for the time being. Witt, little wiggle off turn number 2. We've seen a bunch of guys have that this afternoon. Side by side for the second position here, 18 laps in. Got second, third, and fourth all right in the group here into turns 1 and 2. Craig White in the 5th position, watching it unfold. Let's go on board with Craig White. Craig White's starting to get some pressure from Jared McCauley, the number 04 machine, the Busch beer machine. Right there to the back bumper, half a car length, crosses the stripe. I don't know if Craig is getting held up by the 2 in front of him or if he's just running a slower lap time just to kind of preserve the race car, save some tire, but it's allowed a lot of these guys further back to close in on this group. Gray, one of them, a fast car out there for sure, was up as high as second for a moment. Currently running in the 7th spot. And Gary Lipinski is just checked out. 3.5 seconds back to Noel Kors. Just a handful of laps remain before we complete stage 1. Lipinski, again, putting on a clinic here, at least in the first stage. We'll see if that continues throughout the rest of the race. The first 2 stages, both about the same as far as laps. Of course, stage 1 is 25 laps. Stage 2, technically 25, but with the cautions, you're probably only going to get about 21 or so of those laps under the green flag, so technically a little bit shorter. Final stage, though, that is going to be the decision maker to see where these guys are at with tire wear, who can save their stuff and really put the hammer down late in the run and do something about it. We're going to have to wait and see. These first 2 stages, though, might be very similar to each other. Paul Witt has slipped now to the 4th position. He's got Craig White to the back door. Noel Kors still second. Rominger's moved his way up into P3. Paul Witt trying to hold off Craig White for that position. Slopinski crosses the stripe. He will get the stage 1 win if we are indeed at 25 laps. I believe we are. Maybe it is the end of lap 25. Hard to say. There's the caution. I know there were some issues previously last week. We had a bit of an issue with the software that Old Fart Sim Racing used to throw cautions and kind of be like an automated admin. It kind of glitched out a bit, and then they had a caution flag at the initial start. So maybe they've gone to manual cautions this week. I'm not 100% sure. That might be why there was a delay. Typically, it's right as they cross the line. You'll see that come out. But either way, didn't change a thing. Gary Slopinski wins stage 1. Coors, Rominger, White, and Gray, the top 5. Field formed up behind the iRacing official pace car. Likely everyone to hit pit road here. Got Zach Millett in the stream chat. Great group of guys to race with. Hope to be back in one of these soon. Zach Millett vacationing with the family in Central Florida. Again, we got to make sure he's got the Mickey ears on during his next live stream. Field rolls down pit lane here for a first attention from their crews of the evening. See who does what. Looks like everybody and their brother, the entire field down pit lane. Got Slopinski sporting an HBR TV logo on the brow of that machine. That's always nice to see. Thanks for that. Mickey's ready to rock. Slopinski into the box nice and clean. Right sides in the air. Crew around to the left side of the Ford Mustang. Jack goes underneath. Frank Gramuglia drives straight through the pits. Not sure what the plan there is, but the 78's down and away. He's going to be the first one off pit road with 4 tires at least. Gramuglia went down pit lane, did not stop. I don't know if he missed the box, what have you. Something off there with Frank Gramuglia. Nonetheless, Slopinski out of there first. Pit service complete, lap 27. Let's sit tight, everybody. We're going to take a very short break, and we'll be back with the restart after this.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
We'll jump into the commercials here and break in for the action. We're going green here. Pace car is off. Green flag waves. We're back underway. Lap 29 goes on the board. 22 laps to finish out stage number 2, at least 22 green flag laps. Lipinski back to his old ways off turn number 2 with a big advantage, 0.4 of a second, back to the rest of the field. Well, that battle continues with Noel Kors and Mike Rominger. That's the second row. Then you've got Craig White and Corey Gray doing battle as well. Rominger breaks away just a bit. Now the battle between White and Kors. White down to the bottom. Witt also looking for a spot. He's on the bottom lane. Kors drops back to the 5th position. Corey Gray there in P6. Then you got Jared McCauley, the 04. Earl Lateral up to position number 8, now 7th. 9th, Michael Howlett, and 10th, John Schoenemann. Big wiggle by Paul Witt off turn number 4. Great job saving it. Don't know if anybody caught that, but he had that thing all sorts of sideways off of 4. Top 3 starting to get away from the rest of the group. Kors, Gray, and Lateral now. Earl up to position 6. He is a man on a mission since this restart. He's up a couple of spots already.
Caution, caution.
Caution on the Speedway, possibly James Randall in trouble. James in the number 69 Ford Mustang. Definitely some damage on the right front and nose. The Hanna-Barbera machine. It's going to set us up for another restart, but let's take a minute here, take a look, see exactly what happened with James. Gets to the inside of the 42 here. This is entry. Oh, yeah, makes big contact with the 42. Don't know if he was just trying to get some side draft. It was almost like he was side drafting himself there. They both kind of get raw deals with it. The 69 gets hard impact to the outside wall. Look at this one again. In fact, let's ride on board. He does come up just a bit. I don't want to say it's intentional because I don't really expect that from these guys, but contact certainly made. Entry to turn 3. Both drivers in trouble here. And just like that, we've already got pit stops underway. Interestingly enough, tires once again. Again, these guys are working, I believe, with an unlimited amount of tires, so I guess it's not entirely surprising to see them take this opportunity. Couple drivers opt not to. Michael Howlett, Jared McCauley, Norman Clark. Those are the top 3 that stayed out. Just about everybody else, though, down pit lane for a fresh set of tires. Maybe a splash of fuel just to shorten up that later on. Just about 16 laps shy of the end of stage 2. Caution coming out relatively quickly after the restart to start stage number 2, which should have been about a 22 lap run to the end of the stage. So your new leader is going to be Michael Howlett in the 33. Second place will go Jared McCauley. Third, Norman Clark. Collie in the 04, the Kevin Harvick paint scheme. Norman Clark in the 09. So just like that, lights are off atop the iRacing pace car, so that means one thing. We're on the 1 to go. It'll be green flag the next time by. 36 laps will go on the board. 15 to the end of the stage. Field formed up nicely off turn number 4, waiting for the pace car to peel off. Late dive by the pace car.
Green flag.
Green flag waves are back underway here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Michael Howlett, good jump. McCauley and Clark, though, 4. McCauley on the outside, a big push from Zlopinski. Kind of propelled him into turns 1 and 2. Oh, big wiggle off turn number 2, though. It's one thing with these fresh tires. They are a little hairy to deal with. Zlopinski goes to the bottom. He's going to try and take the second spot down low through 3 and 4. Lipinski not willing to give it up here. He is closing and closing fast. Changes lanes, tries to get a run out of turn number 2, carry that speed down the back straightaway, make a move to the inside into 3. That's what he's doing. Drops it down low to the inside lane. I don't know if he's going to slide across the nose of the 33 here. No, he stays to the bottom. He's got momentum even off of 4, even running that lower lane. Gary Zlopinski, new leader. Second verse, same as the first. Gary Zlopinski back out in front. Winner of stage number 1, trying to win stage number 2 as well. Battle going on here for the 3rd position. Corey Gray's taking it away from Jared McCauley. And look at Earl Lateral up into the 5th position, closing down on 4th. Earl's up 13 spots since the drop of the initial green flag. Did not qualify, started at the back. Quietly, just working his way through this field. Every time I talk to Earl, what does he say? Oh, I'm not one of those fast guys. I'm not really good. I'm not, I do okay. I'm pretty good out there. No, Earl, stop it. You're quick. Tail of the field to position 4 in 41 laps. Can't say that he's a bad guy there. He's got the pace. He's on the bottom. Looking to the inside of Corey Gray here for P3. Does he have it? At the line, he might. Yes, Earl Lateral at least has 3rd spot crossing the stripe. We'll see how long he can stay where he's at, or maybe continue to make this pass and clear the 29. Yeah, now he's working on the 33 for 2nd. Earl Lateral up to P2. Corey Gray on the rebound, trying to attack and take that position back away, but Earl's trying to close the gap on the leader. The 78 is Lipinski. Either way, Lateral's in a good position here to pick up some stage points. Lipinski still out in front. Laps ticking down in stage number 2. Earl Lateral in the 2nd position. Corey Gray, Paul Witt, Noel Kors. That's your top 5. In the 6th position, it's Michael Howlett, then Jared McCauley, Norman Clark, John Schoeneman, Mike Rominger in the 10th spot. And a lot of these guys took the opportunity to pit on that last caution. It wasn't long after the restart that we got that yellow, but interestingly enough, Howlett, Clark, and McCauley, they did not stop on that cycle, and they are running currently 6th, 7th, and 8th respectively. Kors working with Paul Witt here. See if Kors can take the spot away, move himself up to P4. Again, stage points at play. Big group back here battling hard as well. Side-by-side action off turn number 2. John Schoeneman, Norman Clark, all involved here. The 33 of Michael Howlett to the outside, the blue and white machine. He's gonna open the door for Rominger on the bottom. Actually lose some spots here. Rominger jumps up into the 7th position, Clark into 6th. It battles all over the racetrack here at the end of stage number 2. We've got Frank Gramuglia in the 13, and then the 42 of Joe Green up in the high side. That's the Valvoline colors. The Tostitos number 45. It's Alan McEwen. McEwen running in the 17th spot, though he is up from 20th. .42 got a piece of the wall just a bit, going a little bit too wide to quarter entry. Harold Decker in the 9 might have this spot here at the line, and certainly he does. I think it was Don Davis, possibly a little loose off corner, or James Randall, hard to say. David Cameron, indeed. That was the one that was loose off turn number 4. Didn't hit anything. Gathers it back up, all by his lonesome, though, in the 20th position. Last car on the lead lap. Back out front, Lipinski continues to lead. 1.7 seconds the advantage. Back to Corey Gray, Earl Lateral, no Kors, and Paul Witt. Lap 50 on the board. This will be stage 2.
Caution's out.
Caution
One thing for
waves.
sure,
Stage 2 complete.
Everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off at somebody else on the racetrack before this race.
Gary
is over with.
Lipinski wins stage 2 after winning stage 1. Now he's got to work on the three-peat. See if he can lock it down and close out this race, sweep all 3 stages. It's a tall task. Again, this one will go back to green here in about 4 laps. A lot longer run to the finish line. We're going to go side by side, though. You stay with us. We'll be back after this.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series. Gary Zlipinski has won Stage 1 and now Stage 2 consecutively. Got a long run to the finish here. See if he can close this one out and win all 3 stages. Pace car lights are off. Field working the back straightaway here, getting ready to go back to the green flag. Now, looking at it, it appears Corey Gray is going to lead him to the start. Zlipinski second. Earl Latterall third. Paul Witt fourth. Fifth is John Schoeneman. Sixth, Noel Coors to the outside. Rominger seventh. Eighth, Norman Clark. Then Craig White and Frank Perfin. Green flag waves back underway from Vegas. Big push coming in the top lane. Witt sending the 78 a little bit further forward, a little bit faster than the leader Zlipinski. Sorry, Corey Gray with the leader. Now Zlipinski taking the top spot. Nose out in front off turn number 2. Let's see if it sticks off exit. It does, at least for him. Latterall has to slide up the track a bit. Gets in front of Paul Witt off the corner. Mike Rominger looking at this battle as well. He's going to be a part of it. Rominger drops in behind the 49 of Schoeneman. Paul Witt, little wiggle up the racetrack, out of the groove. He's going to lose some ground there off turn number 2. Zlipinski easily back to the front. Corey Gray second, Latterall third. Schoeneman, Rominger the top 5. Witt slowly sliding back. Noel Coors also right there to his back bumper. Craig White. Michael Howlett, the 33, behind him. Gary Zlipinski making this thing look easy so far tonight as he continues to extend that advantage over the rest of the field. It's small at this point. It's just under 0.4 of a second, but it's growing. Real battle on track is back behind him. The leader is Mike Rominger. Middle to high side, following Corey Gray. The 49 is Schoeneman to the bottom. Paul Witt tucked in behind Rominger. Rominger trying to find a way to get around these guys, trying to find some grip, trying to find some pace. I mean, he's plenty quick out there as it is, but just not quite enough to make the moves to go around the 2 in front of him. That's Schoeneman and Corey Gray. Now he gets to the inside of John Schoeneman at the stripe. Rominger a nose out into 4th place. He clears the 49 into 1, but Paul Witt's going to take advantage as well. He's going to try and take the spot from the 49. Follow Rominger through. Not quite, though. Rominger clears the 49. Witt cannot. Witt tucks back in behind Schoeneman, down the backstretch into turn number 3. Rominger with the lead in that small little group. Overall lead, though, Gary Zlipinski still out in front. Say though, the gap back to Earl Latterall is not increasing. If anything, it's down. It's 1/10 of a second less than it was a couple of laps ago. Less than 0.3 of a second the lead for Gary Zlipinski. We'll see if Earl Latterall can close down any further. Maybe make a challenge for the lead here as we get closer and closer. In fact, lap 60 goes up on the board. This will be the halfway point of tonight's race. Earl Lateral is there. He is right there. A car length, maybe less, between himself and the lead. He can smell it. He can taste that he's so close, as it does expand out to 2 car lengths. They cross the stripe at lap 61. Lipinski still out front, but this is his closest challenger of the day. Earl Lateral, hammer down, throwing caution to the wind. Going to see what he's got for our leader, Gary Lipinski, and lead into turn number 3. Top 2 start to separate just a bit. Corey Gray closing in on Earl Lateral as well. Corey Gray, though, can't look too far out the front windshield. He's got a big handful in his rear view mirror, and that's Mike Rominger. Very impressed with these guys so far tonight. Very fast, very clean race. And currently every single driver still on the lead lap all the way down to 20th, and Dave Cameron. Again, Bradley Cockrell team's Tom Stevens did not start the event. I can only assume they are here in an admin role. Rominger right on the back bumper of Corey Gray off turn number 4. Really trying to take that spot away and move himself up into P3. Rominger with a nose to the bottom, got to the inside for a brief moment. Not enough to make the pass or close down the gap. He tucks back in behind. Paul Witt also taking advantage once again. We've seen him do this quite a bit today. Watch the 2 guys out in front start doing some battle, fighting for position, take advantage of that slower pace. When these guys are side by side, it puts a bigger hole in the air, a little bit more draft for Paul Witt. And also you've got 2 guys that are defending or attacking at the same time. It slows those 2 cars down as Rominger goes to the bottom here. He might have the 29 clear. He does. Off turn number 2. Paul Witt can't follow him through, almost. Now Rominger going to try and take the spot from Earl Lateral. Earl was on the charge early on. Thought he had an opportunity to take the lead, but wasn't able to pull it off, and now he's going to lose second place. Mike Rominger on the charge here late in stage 3, crosses the stripe, and nose out in front, crosses the line in second spot. Hasn't got Earl clear just yet. I would assume he's going to have him off turn 2. In fact, he does. Mike Rominger now up to P2. You can see through all that the lead that Gary Lipinski has built up. It's almost a full second from P1 back to second place, and Corey Gray loose off 4 again. It's going to lose a spot or 2 here. Maybe not. Good recovery by the 29. Car was way out of shape off corner exit, gathered it back up. We've seen that a bunch with these guys tonight. Able to let the car kind of get out of control without causing an issue, getting it into the fence and the yellow coming out. Very, very impressed. These guys super, super clean, really fast. Earl Lateral, though, still hanging on to that 3rd spot. Paul Witt trying to make a move to the outside of Corey Gray. Gray to the bottom, then a mobile 129. Witt up top, that black and orange 429 number Toyota Camry. Caution on the Speedway, though.
What do you think, bud? Do you think you're all right out there?
Possibly Frank Perfin? Oh, yeah, we've got some trouble here in the middle of 1 and 2. Michael Howlett. Beaten and battered number 33. He's going to check out and go right to pit lane with the tow truck. Let's get a look at it, see exactly what happened. A little bit late in the replay. Let's back things up and see how these two came together. We'll spotlight them here. You've got Howlett on the bottom. You got the 49 of Schooneman up top. Coming through the dog leg into turn number 1. Cookie Monster's getting a bite of something he doesn't like. Thought he was clear and just kept coming up. My perspective, it looks like he tried to clear himself before the spotter really did. Wasn't quite clear. Both drivers into the outside wall into turn number 1. Howlett doing a good job just letting that car roll up top to let the field go by down the bottom. Definitely showing some experience there. A lot of guys would just stand on the brakes, and a lot of times it would slide the nose down the banking and in front of traffic. Did a good job just to keep it up there. Through that, leaders are down pit road once again. The whole field rolling down the pits here for some more service, some more tires, some more fuel. Another good pit entry for Gary Slapinski. Craig White into the box. Slapinski's down and away. 4 tires and fuel for him. I'd imagine everybody's going to have the same pit strategy as far as that is concerned. With unlimited tires, take as many as you need. In fact, let me just verify that. I'm pretty sure that's the case. You get them confused. I do a bunch of different leagues, and they all have the Superior Class Auto Racing runs 2 sets of tires for the whole darn race. Other guys run 5 sets. Other guys run unlimited. Just have to double check to be sure. Yes, indeed, it is an unlimited set. Unlimited sets over the wall, 100% fuel for the Old Fart Sim Racing League. The next gen, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series. Makes it all about the driver. Don't have to worry too much about strategy unless the caution comes out and you may opt to take tires and somebody else might opt not. So under caution, lap 71 of 120. Working stage number 3. Current top 5, Gary Slapinski, Mike Rominger, Earl Lateral, Corey Gray, Paul Witt. Just like that, though, pace car lights have turned off. Quick yellow, we're going to go back to the green flag the next time by. Get racing resumed. It'll be lap 73 when we go back to the green. Again, those of you guys watching on both Facebook or YouTube, feel free to interact within the stream chat. I know that's the pinned message every race, but I do mean it. Say hello, who you cheering for, where you watching from. Did you catch something that I didn't? An incident, a wreck, crazy move, whatever. Feel free to chime in. Keep it PG. Pace car is off. We wait for the green to wave.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. We're good to go. 78 in the throttle. So's Mike Rominger. Good start by both front lane cars here. Top and bottom on their way into turn number 1. Slapinski with a small advantage into the corner. Rominger up top. He's going to have a run out of 2, though. Mike Rominger, a nose out in front, down the back straightaway. First time he sniffed the lead today. And he's going to cross down in front of Slapinski and take the top spot into turn 3. Brazen move by Mike Rominger to take the top spot here. Coming to lap 74. New leader as we cross the stripe. Slapinski now back to 2nd. Corey Gray 3rd. Lateral 4th. Paul Witt still hanging tough there in P5. And Noel Kors, he's going to be banging on the back door here in just a minute, too. Better be careful, though, because Jared McCauley's looking to take that spot away from him. Attack, defend, defend. That's kind of the name of the game here if you're not out front. Greg White on the charge to the outside. Good run by the 3. Doesn't have anywhere to go with it, though. Kors drops back down to the bottom. Craig does not need to lift for that one. Continues to carry that run down through the dog leg into turn number 1. Going to try it again off turn number 2. Coors in the middle lane, kind of casually blocking, not aggressively blocking, but definitely putting his car in the space that Craig White wants to take up with that run that he's been getting off corner exits. Coors down to the bottom again, or the middle, slides back up to the top. Little wiggle from Craig White. Now he battles with Jared McCauley for position. McCauley a nose out into the 7th spot. McCauley now battling with Frank Gramuglia for the 8th position. McCauley has it, trying to defend. Looks like Frank's going to take it, maybe not. McCauley hangs on to it for at least another lap. Meanwhile, Corey Gray goes to the top spot, or does he? To the bottom. He's trying to take that away from Mike Rominger. Side by side through turns 1 and 2. Off corner exit again. Rominger has the momentum, takes the advantage down the Nellis straight into turn number 3. Who's going to lead it? Rominger hanging tough on the outside, still side by side as they cross the stripe. Who is going to lead this lap? It's Corey Gray officially. Brian Schaefer in the stream chat, watching from Pennsylvania, a friend of the 42. 42 is Joseph Green. Joseph is running back in the 11th position. Corey Gray, though, clears Mike Rominger. Officially new leader here at the front of the field. Lap 79 to go on the board. So let's restack the top 5 here. Corey Gray, Mike Rominger, Gary Slapinski, Paul Witt, Earl Lateral. Again, it's amazing to see how dominant Gary was for stages 1 and 2. All of a sudden, he loses the lead. Again, these guys are all on the same tire strategy. I'll pit on that caution at lap 70. But now Slapinski back in some dirty air. Not quite as fast as he once was. Now he's going to have to defend. Paul Witt closing down. Corey Gray out front. A slight gap back to Mike Rominger. Again, Rominger, your winner at Pocono a couple weeks ago. Rominger really closes down that gap mid-corner. Corey Gray does have the lead here, but he is not running away from Mike Rominger. In fact, I think Mike is starting to cut into that advantage again. It's less than 0.2 of a second through turns 1 and 2 this time. It's right there. Car length, maybe 2 at the most between the top 2. 2 or 3 back to Gary Slapinski, Paul Witt, Earl Lateral, and that's the balance of the top 5. Rominger looks a little racy there behind the 29, wants to take the top spot back. Nose to the inside as they cross the start-finish line. Rominger trying to get back out in front. Clean air is king, and that's where he wants to be. That's where he is. He's got the lead here off turn number 2. I think he's got the 29 clear. Does Corey get a run out of 2? Not enough to stop that move. See James Murray, Scranton, PA, following the 42 with Joe Green. Brian Schaefer live about a half hour from the Tricky Triangle. I'm going to be down that way here in a couple of weeks. I got to travel to Scranton for work for a day or two. Rominger still out front, though, over Corey Gray, and that advantage extends itself to 0.3 of a second. Gary Slapinski unable to take advantage of those two battling for the lead. Craig White up into the 7th position. Probably not real happy with that. Again, he started outside front row here today. Earl Lateral probably pretty happy with where he's at in the 5th spot, up 12 positions from where he started. Noel Coors in the 6th spot, started 3rd, had some pace early on. Do have just a few drivers here down off the lead lap. That's Don Davis, James Randall, Mike Howlett. Again, those drivers involved in incidents. Earl Lateral real loose off turn number 2. Don't know if he caught a piece of the wall there or not, but great job keeping it straightened out. Watching this battle here for position. You got the 15, the green and white machine to Noel Coors. He is 6th. Earl Lateral once again almost gets a piece of that safer barrier. Don't know if he had to lift, but Coors looking to the inside, battling hard for this position. Earl does not want to give it up. Gary Slapinski P3 there, not for long though. Paul Witt all over the back bumper of that machine. Changing up lanes here just a bit is Lipinski. Off turn number 2, Earl Lateral slots back in between Witt and Coors. Into turn number 3, Lipinski still with the 3rd spot. Rominger still out front, Corey Gray still in 2nd, about a half second behind the leader. This is the battle for the 3rd spot. Lipinski has it. Paul Witt wants it. Earl Lateral wants them both. Looks to the inside, almost contact. Lateral to the bottom, gathers it back up, checks out of the throttle. Everybody gets through it okay. Very close call into turns 1 and 2. Earl Lateral making very slight contact. I think that was to the 429 of Paul Witt. Masterful job by all involved to keep those cars straightened out. Oh, and more contact. Noel Coors and Earl Lateral side by side. James Murray, first time tuning in. Good racing. I like it. Yeah, thanks, James. Certainly appreciate you being here. These guys are quick, man. It's sometimes it's almost difficult because you don't get a whole lot of cautions, so sometimes the field can get stretched out, but so far, so good. This place here at Las Vegas, between the stage breaks and the close racing, it's been a good one. Checking back out front, Rominger still with the lead. He's got just under a half second back to Corey Gray. Corey Gray, of course, the number 29, the Mobile 1 Camaro. And he's got 1.4 seconds back to that battle for 3rd. Gary Slapinski and Paul Witt just allowing those top 2 to slowly get away. Paul Witt looking to the inside in turn number 3. He may have position. Does he have enough to clear the 78 off of 4? Slapinski goes up top. Little momentum to carry. Nope. He's in the wall. Scrapes the right sides just a bit. That may open the door for Earl Lateral. Earl in the 12. Looking to the inside. That white and red machine goes to the bottom. Now move Earl back up into the top 5. The 4th position. Lipinski hangs now in 5th. Again, power slide off turn number 2 by Lateral. That's going to cost him some time and reopen the door for Lipinski. Hard racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Earl Lateral, really the biggest battle on the racetrack has really been from really P3 on back. Top 2 are relatively separated from each other and a ways out in front from the rest of the pack. Maybe some more contact with Noel Coors and Gary Slapinski. Gary and Noel battling hard. Gary was used to being out front most of this night. Didn't get a whole lot of opportunity to race that car in a pack, in traffic, in dirty air. Coors gets the advantage here. Now Craig White goes to the bottom. Gary Lipinski slowly free falling, and Mike Rominger's on pit road. Likely a scheduled stop with 25 to go. In the box, nice and clean. Tires and fuel for the 951. This is likely to get him to the end of this race. Now he's just got to hope some other guys come down pit road for their scheduled service and a caution does not come out, because that would really ruin his day. Down and away he goes. John Schoeneman in the pit lane as well. So we're starting to see some green flag stops here with 24 laps to go. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tires and fuel for the 49 as well. Corey Gray now with a 1.8 second advantage over second place. That's Paul Witt, 4:29. Again, we've seen some of these drivers pit for tires and fuel. Best laps of the night. Upper 29 second range, 29.8 I think is the best we have seen. Late in the run here with tires starting to go away, 31.8. So we're looking about 2 full seconds slower on older tires. Again, Mike Rominger, he's made his final stop of the day, more than likely, unless we get another caution. But he's going to start cutting into that gap, and you just got to wonder how long will Corey Gray wait to make his final stop of the race. 2 seconds a lap faster. I think Rominger can certainly get that lap back the old-fashioned way and pass for it. But with 21 laps to go at a 2 second, that's, say, 40 seconds he can make up. Again, I gotta believe that these guys are all going to take an opportunity to take tires, unless that was just a Hail Mary for Mike Rominger. Through that cycle, though, Earl Lateral back up to P3. Noel Coors is 4th. 5th is Craig White. Gary Lipinski back in the 6th position. Jared McCauley, the 04. You see Rominger just tearing through the field. There is the difference between new tires and old. The 951, that Chevrolet-sponsored machine, fresh tires, and he's just making an embarrassment out of these guys on those fresher tires. You can't hold them off. There's nothing you can really do. It almost looked like Coors was trying to block, but doesn't realize Rominger's on fresh rubber. Oh, it's going to be close. Thought Earl was going to come down to the bottom. Rominger at the line. Let's see where Corey Gray is. Just getting into turn number 1. Rominger's going to get this lap back on his own really soon. I mean, at this point, Corey Gray's kind of made his bet. If he doesn't have to pit, now he's just got to hope and pray for a caution. Because if he takes the opportunity now, there's no way he's going to get down pit road, 4 tires and fuel, without losing the lead to Rominger. Yes, he'll have a little bit fresher tires, but with laps winding down, you don't know if he's got enough time to make it back up. Corey Gray out front. Rominger, the first car 1 lap down, so if we do get a caution, he'd be the lucky dog, but I don't think he's going to have to worry about it. He's closing down fast on Corey Gray. He's going to take this spot back, at least the lap back, on his own into turn 3. Rominger back on the lead lap on fresh rubber. Corey Gray, you're still leading, but on older tires. Again, I think he's kind of made his bet. We've got 16 laps to go. Last lap by Corey Gray, 32:09. Rominger, his last time, 30:19. almost 2 seconds faster. So 32 seconds he can gain if he continues on that trend. Average lap time for the slower leader right now is about 32 seconds. So if we stay green and the deficit lap to lap stays about 2 seconds, we might have a last lap pass here if the numbers remain the way that they are. We're going to have to see. Corey Gray still on track. He's again, we talked about making your bed and having to sleep in it. That's where he's at right now. Rominger was kind of the same situation. I think he's happy with it. He stands to gain some ground. 15 to go here from Vegas. Corey Gray with the lead. Paul Witt second. Noel Kors third. Slopinski back up to P4, and Craig White is fifth. Earl Lateral has slipped a bit. He's back in the 7th position. Earl's got the 69 of Randall just to the inside. Randall not a lead lap car. That is not for position. However, the 77, I believe, Mike Martin, that is indeed for position. He runs in the 8th spot. Lateral loose again off turn 4. So Corey Gray still out front, still your leader, coming to 12 laps to go. Mike Rominger on fresher tires. He is the last car on the lead lap, but with 25 lap fresher tires than everybody else in front of him. So here is Corey Gray off turn 2. Rominger through 1 and 2 also. No, this is off 3 and 4. Check the lap times again. Last time for Rominger, 30:67. Corey Gray, 32:11. So still roughly 2 seconds. I don't know if Rominger's got enough time to get there and pass him, but he's going to make up some spots more than likely before this one is over. Again, 11 laps to go. Corey Gray getting into some lap traffic. The 33 of Michael Howlett. Ten laps to go, 22 seconds between Gray and Rominger. I just don't see Mike making up enough time to get there. It was a bold move to try. I just don't see it happening. A caution certainly changes a lot of things here. But with that, again, unlimited tires, caution comes out. I don't see how the whole field doesn't come down pit lane. Maybe Rominger stays out, but again, he's going to be way off the pace compared to those fresher tires. But if there's only 2 or 3 laps to go, maybe a gamble. Deficit not shrinking really between Rominger and Gray. Again, Rominger in the 14th position, lead lap now 13th position, but it's still 22.2 seconds between himself and Gray, about 2/3 of a lap. 8 laps to go. If he continues on this pace, he might be able to crack the top 5, but it remains to be seen. It's a lot of passing to do in the next 8 laps. We'll see. Gary Slopinski back up into P2. Starting to excel here on the older tires. The longer this run goes on, the quicker he seems to be. Noel Kors hangs tough there in the 3rd spot. Craig White up into 4th. Paul Witt maintaining the top 5. Earl Lateral up in the 6th position. It's as high as P2 for a while, but slipped back just a bit. Might have gotten a little too much out of those Goodyears. Rominger into turns 1 and 2 in the 13th spot. Not gaining the time that he once was. Last lap, 31:53. Corey Gray at 31:99. So now we're looking at a half-second deficit per lap with 6 to go. Rominger's just not going to make it. It was a good try, but not going to be a winner here today. Again, if we stay green, I guess caution certainly does change everything. We'll have to see if that happens, but so far so good. And the way this race has gone, the way it has trended, just don't see it happening. Corey Gray's got 3.3 seconds out the rearview mirror to Gary Slapinski. Likely nothing to worry about there. Slapinski is a little bit faster. We're talking about a tenth of a lap faster, but again, not enough time left, not enough laps left for him to really do much with it. Slapinski there in P2. He does have Noel Kors, though, 3-4 car lengths in the rearview mirror. Not sure if Noel's going to catch him. His last lap was not faster than the 78. He is right there. Gains a lot through turns 1 and 2. Three laps to go from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Corey Gray still with the lead. It's kind of the trend that we're seeing here in this Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series is you got one guy that goes out and just dominates the first 2/3 while the other guys save their stuff before they really show their hand. I think Corey Gray's one of them. Didn't show what he had until late in the run. He's got a 3-second advantage over Slapinski. Again, Slapinski won Stage 1 and Stage number 2. Average finish per stage for Slapinski starting to look pretty good. First, second, at least for now. A lap and a half to go for Corey Gray before that's all official. Rominger unable to get past position number 13, even with the newer tires. We are in Vegas after all. Took the gamble. It did not pay off, but the white flag waves for Corey Gray. Final lap here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Corey Gray started in the 4th position. Wasn't much of a contender, really, as far as the stages were concerned, but pays more to win the race than it does to win the stage. Corey Gray down the backstretch for the final time. Cruises by the Nellis straightaway logo into turn number 3. Corey Gray off turn number 4, looking for a jackpot, checkered flag waving. Corey Gray is going to win here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, race number 5, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series. He is your winner. Gary Slapinski is going to come home P2. Noel Kors, position number 3. Craig White, Paul Witt, the balance of your top 5. Corey Gray on the cool down. There we go. Now he's going to light it up. He's got to get a little more front brake in that thing. Or go in the grass. That works too. Corey Gray celebrating on the front stretch grass. There we go. Now we got him lit up. Definitely a happy camper behind the wheel, that number 29 Mobile 1 Chevrolet. We're going to step aside, get our final break out of the way, and we're hopefully going to come back with our top 3 finishers. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back after this.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series presented by Old Farts Sim Racing League. Corey Gray is your winner here at Las Vegas. Unfortunately, Corey has quickly left the chat, so we're not going to be able to get a word with the driver of the number 29. But fear not, we do have P2 and P3. That's Gary Zlipinski and Noel Kors. We're going to go to Gary first. I'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Gary, it's Steve in the broadcast booth with HBR TV. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Gary, congratulations, man. A P2 finish. I know it was probably not what you wanted. You swept the first two stages, stage 1, stage 2, in dominating fashion. Unable to bring home that final stage. Still a second place finish, so no shame in that. But what was the difference between those first two stages and then this longer final stage you were not able to close it in on Corey Gray?
You know what the weirdest thing is? I hit that cone I was messing around, hit that cone, and the cone was actually inside my car. You can see it in there, and the thing was dragging around, and I was actually losing speed out of it. I was like losing straightaway speed, and I was falling back, and all of a sudden I was racing with Noel, and all of a sudden we kind of like nudged it a little bit together, and all of a sudden the car took off after that. It was gone, and I started going through the field again. I was like, what the heck is going on here? I'm never going to touch those cones ever again.
The pit exit cone, not good for aero, I guess. Definitely not.
No, it was stuck underneath the right front tire. I could see it. It was in the tire. I hear it dragging. I wasn't getting straightaway speed. I was losing like 2 miles an hour.
Pretty ironic that you've got cone police on the side of that race car, and that's what happens.
I know. Yes, sir. I guess I got bitten by the snake.
Well, I got to ask, Gary, coming into tonight, is this just one of the tracks that you excel at, that you get a lot of practice in? What was really the secret here to at least those first two stages and why you were so quick?
Oh, wow. Just tire management. Here, you need this. This place loves tires. If you put too much wheel in it, it's just going to chew that right front up, and you're going to be in trouble. There's no doubt. You're going to put too much heat in that thing, and you're in trouble. And it's all about saving those tires, and I was able to do that the first two runs. No problem. The car took off crazy fast, and that last one I noticed right away. I was like, what's going on here? And all I hear was the cone dragging on the racetrack. That's all I heard, and it was so loud.
I just only wish that I was on your in-car camera for that. I wish I could have seen that.
They're all telling me, yeah, look at it. It's in the replay. I was like, I know, I can see it. I saw it in my dashboard at one point.
Well, either way, Gary, a great run, man. Congratulations. Good job at least trying to battle back for that win. A second-place finish nonetheless. What are your thoughts going into Chicagoland next week?
Chicagoland, I just had a race there, and I came out of there very well. So I'm high hopes there. Let's say high hopes. I think it's a multi-groove race. Not like this place, but I think if I play my cards right, keep it out front, because I think clean air is king the last time I was there. So that's what I'm shooting for.
All right, Gary. Well, again, congratulations on P2. We're going to let you slide here. Before we do, though, anybody else you need to thank?
Oh, I would like to thank the Old Farts and for everything they do. I really appreciate it. Craig, Harold, all my guys, teammates, Earl. They do a fantastic job with this series, and I want to thank them very, very much for everything they do. Thank you, guys. And I'd like to thank you for doing this for us. It's really appreciated from the Old Farts, and everybody out there watching. Thank you, appreciate it. And for my wife and kids, thank you for letting me do this every night. Thank you.
All right, Gary. Thanks for talking to us, man. Thanks for the kind words. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
It's Gary Slapinski, your second place finisher. Next, we're going to go to Noel Coors. See if we can pull Noel up into the broadcast booth. Noel, it's Steve in the HBR booth. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy. Could you see my number tonight?
No, still no number. We'll have to talk post-race about that. I'm sure we can get it squared away, but no big deal. We know who you are. We know what the color is, and maybe we just leave it as is. It's the guy with no number. It's Noel Coors.
10-4.
Either way, a good run tonight, a third-place finish. Maybe not what you wanted, but I'm sure you'll take it. Tell us about the strategies coming into tonight and if anything changed throughout the stages.
Yeah, I ladled back a little bit on the last stage. I think I waited a little bit too long and got racing too hard with the guys and used up a little. I mean, my tire wear was still decent, but a couple guys took two there before on the last run. Just took a while to get around them, and then I think Gary ran the cone over. How ironic is that, huh?
Exactly. I was saying the same thing.
Man.
He got cone police on the side of the car, and he hits the cone, and it cost him.
Hey, I'm running his ass down. It's like the first time I ever could run him down there. But anyway, I think I used up a little tire there, and and then I really think, I don't know what lap the cone come out, but when I went to get around Gary for second and got into him a little bit, and I feel like that's when the car took off, but maybe I'm wrong, and I just kind of had to stay in line there and almost fenced it a couple times to try to get around him for second. But all in all, it was a really fun race.
It's ironic that you say that, though, because Gary had mentioned the exact same thing, that you and him kind of made some contact and it dislodged the cone, and all of a sudden he had pace back. So the contact helped him in this case.
Yep, 10-4. But yeah, just a really good race. Appreciate you guys.
Well, happy to do it. I got to thank all you guys for having me be a part of it. Certainly do appreciate it. You got Andrew at Pit Stop TV again next week, because I'm unfortunately unavailable, but he did a great job for you guys at Pocono. I expect nothing less going into next week as well. Speaking of next week, it's Chicagoland, a somewhat similar racetrack to Las Vegas, but it's also quite different. What are your thoughts going into there?
Well, I like that track a little bit better because it requires more brake. I like a track where we brake a lot on older tires and stuff. I feel like I drive them better with this car for some reason. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think we'll run good there.
All right, Noel. Well, thanks for chatting with us, man. Congratulations on P3. Before we let you go, anybody else that you want to get thanked?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Concrete Floors for sure, and you guys broadcasting. We really appreciate it. Old Farts, Sim Racing, Harold, Craig, Earl, and them guys for building the sets, and like just bring a little awareness to muscular dystrophy. My son's got that, and that's what's on the side of my car. So I forgot to say that last weekend. So just wanted to bring that out. But thank you guys, and thanks for having me.
All right, Noel. Again, congratulations, man. Thanks for chatting with us.
Yeah, take care, Steve.
It's Noel Kors, third place finisher here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's take a moment here, look at our official race results. We talked to our top three already. Fourth place finisher was Craig White in the 3. Fifth place, hard charging Paul Witt. Wasn't for a lack of trying. He was pushing hard there throughout the entire race, trying to get spots. A top 5 finish for the 429. Earl Laterell, biggest mover of the race, finishes P6. Passed 11 cars for position officially. He was as high as second at one point. Great run for Earl. 7th was Jared McCauley. 8th, Norman Clark. Michael Martin finished 9th. Harold Decker was 10th. Mike Rominger still drove that thing back up into 11th position. That was after taking tires under the green flag late in the run. Didn't pay off. Certainly took a chance there. Could have, but just unable to cash in here at Vegas. Frank Perfin, the 12th place finisher. Alan McEwen was 13th. Joe Green, 14th. Frank Gramuglia, 15th. John Schoeneman was 16th. Don Davis was 17th. Michael Howlett, 18th. James Randall, the 3rd, was 19th. And Dave Cameron was 20th. Got to thank all you guys for tuning in here in the stream tonight. I appreciate the participation. We got some new faces, or new names at least, in the stream chat. Thanks for saying hello. I really do appreciate when you guys pop into the chat and say hello. It's sometimes a little challenging to do the producing and the race calling all at the same time. So if you guys throw me some topics here and there, it does certainly help out. And it helps out the Old Farts, the Next Gen, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series. It helps them put on a little bit better show. Can't do everything, you know what I mean? But again, thank you so much for being a part of it. If you haven't already done so, like, follow, share, subscribe. Facebook.com/HBRTV1. We dual stream to Facebook and YouTube. You can find us at YouTube, also the same place, HBRTV1. Appreciate the follows. If you can do that, turn on the notifications. That's the most important part, so you don't miss a minute of the action. We're not done for the week. We got another one tomorrow. It's the Lone Star Racing Truck Series. I believe we are at Kansas Speedway tomorrow. Saturday, we are off as I'm headed up north to Oswego Speedway for the NASCAR Tour Modified Series, but we're going to be back in action Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday nights, we've got the LSR Sports Car Series. Tuesday nights, we've got the Superior Class Auto Racing Premier Series. That's a Camping World Truck Series. Wednesdays, of course, we're back once again, but we'll miss that one. We're going to be unavailable for that particular event. Pit Stop TV going to be covering it for you guys. Again, tune in for it. We'll make sure we get all the links shared. If you have any questions about how to follow it, talk to any one of these guys in the league, or check us out on HBR TV. We'll make sure we get it shared there as well. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Really do appreciate it. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, congratulating Corey Gray, Gary Zlopinski, and Noel Coors, your top 3 finishers here tonight at Las Vegas. We'll see you at the next one, everybody. Have a great night.